peak of perfection, inside Cristiano Ronaldo's untouchable prime at Real Madrid opening scene. The arrival of a king, June 2009. The Santiago Bernabéu is trembling. Over 80,000 people fill the stands, waving white flags, chanting one name that echoes through Madrid's heart: Ronaldo. Not the Brazilian magician this time, but the Portuguese phenomenon who had just cost Real Madrid nearly €94 million, a record-breaking transfer that stunned the world. Cameras flash like lightning as he steps out wearing that famous white kit for the first time. The noise is deafening, the anticipation unbearable. It doesn't feel like a presentation. It feels like the beginning of an empire. Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't arriving to be part of Madrid's history. He was arriving to rewrite it. He carried the weight of expectation, the most expensive signing in football history, the successor to legends like Raúl and Zidane. Yet there was no fear in his eyes, just focus. The kind of focus only seen in people who already know what they're about to become. The transformation of a machine. The Ronaldo that joined Real Madrid was not the same boy who left Manchester United. He arrived leaner, stronger, and more calculated, a product of obsession and evolution. Gone was the flashy winger who relied on step-overs and tricks. In his place stood a complete athlete, built like a sprinter, trained like a boxer, and driven like a soldier. Every movement had purpose. Every run had calculation. He didn't just want to score, he wanted to dominate. From his very first game, defenders realized they weren't facing a player, they were facing a system. A machine that never stopped running, never stopped believing, never stopped hunting. And when the goals started coming, they didn't stop. A start that shook Spain. Ronaldo scored in each of his first 4 La Liga games, a record no Madrid player had ever achieved. In the Champions League, he found the net twice in his first 2 appearances. The Bernabéu didn't just admire him, they feared how much he could become. But early success came with its first test. A serious ankle injury sidelined him for several weeks. During that time, Real Madrid looked lifeless. The attack dulled, the energy dropped, and fans realized something extraordinary. Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't just a part of the team. He was its heartbeat. When he returned, he came back with vengeance. He finished the season with 33 goals in 35 matches. For most, a career best. For him, it was only the warm-up. The birth of CR7. When Raúl González left the club, his sacred number 7 shirt needed a new owner. Cristiano didn't hesitate. He wore it not as a tribute, but as a promise. That was the birth of CR7. Not a nickname, but an identity. A brand, yes, but more importantly, a mindset. The following season, José Mourinho arrived, a manager who understood the fire inside him. Mourinho gave him complete freedom, to roam, to attack, to explode. And the result? 53 goals in one season. Numbers that were once unthinkable became routine. But the real moment, the one that defined him, came in April 2011. The Copa del Rey final against Barcelona. Extra time. Di Maria whips in a cross. Ronaldo rises higher than anyone and his header explodes into the net. Real Madrid lift their first trophy in years, and Cristiano stands tall, arms stretched wide, the king of Madrid's rebirth. The rivalry that defined an era across Spain and Catalonia, another genius ruled the stage. Lionel Messi. Together, they created a rivalry that split the world in two. It wasn't just about goals, it was about philosophy. Messi, the natural talent, effortless, graceful, born to create beauty. Ronaldo, the relentless worker, carved through discipline, sacrifice, and an almost violent hunger to improve. For nearly a decade, they pushed each other beyond human limits. Every time Messi scored 3, Ronaldo scored 4. Every time Messi lifted a trophy, Ronaldo found a way to answer. It was football's greatest duel, and Madrid's number 7 was its most ruthless competitor. The pursuit of perfection. The 2011-12 season brought one of the most dominant campaigns in La Liga history. Real Madrid reached 100 points, a record. Ronaldo scored 46 league goals, including the one that sealed the title at Camp Nou. He had become a predator of precision, the perfect balance of athleticism and calculation. Left foot, right foot, header, penalty, free kick, every weapon mastered. But for him, domestic glory was never enough. He wanted Europe. He wanted the Champions League, the stage where immortality lives. The obsession with Europe. Between 2010 and 2013, Ronaldo's Champions League record was staggering. Yet every season ended in heartbreak. Semifinals lost, missed penalties, painful eliminations. Each failure only sharpened his hunger. He trained harder, studied longer, evolved deeper. And then 2014 arrived. La Decima. Carlo Ancelotti was now in charge. Bale and Benzema joined forces with him to form the legendary BBC trio. Ronaldo destroyed Schalke, Bayern and Dortmund on the road to the final. And in Lisbon, even half injured, he scored the final goal of the campaign, his 17th of the tournament, a record still unbeaten. When the final whistle blew, he ripped off his shirt, roared at the sky, and flexed every muscle like a warrior at the gates of Olympus. That wasn't celebration, it was catharsis. Years of frustration and obsession exploding in one unforgettable moment. Real Madrid had finally won their 10th European Cup. Cristiano Ronaldo had finally conquered his destiny, the evolution of a predator. After 2014, Ronaldo changed again. He no longer chased every run, no longer danced past defenders with stepovers. He evolved into something more efficient, a pure finisher. He began conserving energy, striking at the perfect moment. He turned into a sniper. Fewer touches, more devastation. The 2014-15 season saw him score 61 goals, a career high. He could win matches with just moments. One chance, one shot, one goal. By then, even opponents knew if you gave him half a second, it was already over. Zidane's era, the final ascension. When Zinedine Zidane took over in 2016, he didn't try to change Ronaldo. He protected him. Zidane knew his star didn't need control. He needed clarity. He gave Ronaldo rest when necessary, trusted him in decisive moments, and the results were historic. That season, Ronaldo delivered hat-tricks against Wolfsburg and Atletico, and the decisive penalty in the Champions League final. Madrid lifted another European title, and CR7 lifted another Ballon d'Or. Then came the masterpiece, 2016-17. Critics said he was aging. He responded with a Champions League campaign that defied logic. 5 goals against Bayern, a hat-trick against Atletico, 2 goals in the final versus Juventus. Real Madrid won La Liga and the Champions League, the double that had eluded them for years. Cristiano stood at the top of the football world, untouchable, unchallenged, unrivaled, the legend of Mr. Champions League. By 2018, his reputation in Europe was beyond comparison. He wasn't just a record holder, he was the record itself. And then came the moment that even his rivals couldn't ignore. In Turin against Juventus, Ronaldo leaped into the air, his body nearly horizontal, and delivered a bicycle kick so perfect that even Juventus fans stood and applauded. It wasn't just a goal, it was art. It was everything football aspires to be: courage, timing, beauty, and perfection. That season, he won his 5th Champions League title, his 3rd in a row. In 8 years at Real Madrid, he had scored 450 goals in 438 games. Numbers that felt fictional. He wasn't just Real Madrid's greatest scorer. He had redefined what greatness meant. The silent goodbye. Yet, behind the glory, cracks began to show. Cristiano felt unappreciated by the club's board, undervalued despite his records. He saw how Barcelona treated Messi like royalty and wondered why he didn't feel the same respect in Madrid. When legal controversies surfaced, he expected support. He received silence. After lifting his 5th European Cup, his post-match interview hinted at farewell. And soon after, the news broke. Ronaldo to Juventus for €117 million. For Real, it made financial sense. For Cristiano, it was personal. Another mountain to climb. Another battle to win. The legacy that can't be repeated. When he left, he didn't leave empty-handed. He left with 4 Champions League titles, 2 La Liga titles, 2 Copa del Reys, 3 FIFA Club World Cups and 4 Ballon d'Ors. He arrived as a prodigy. He left as an immortal. At Real Madrid, Cristiano Ronaldo didn't just score goals, he created an era. He turned ordinary nights into history. He built a standard that may never be touched again. The era of a god. Football moves fast. New stars rise, new heroes appear, and memories fade. But some stories don't age, they echo. And Ronaldo's prime at Real Madrid isn't just remembered, it's studied. He wasn't flawless, he wasn't gentle, he was relentless, ruthless, inevitable. He made greatness look routine. And even when time passes, one truth remains. There was a moment when football reached its purest, most unstoppable form. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, comment your favorite Ronaldo moment, and subscribe for more football documentaries.